Welcome back to Tech by Pike. Today I want to go over the benchmarking that we performed with the Razer Blade 14-inch gaming laptop. We already did the unboxing, that video is posted, but let's do a quick review of the specs for this particular laptop. AMD Ryzen 5900HX CPU processor, has the NVIDIA RTX 3080 that gets up to a max of 100 watts, has that vapor chamber cooling for the internals, has 16 gigabytes of RAM, that is soldered to the motherboard, so no opportunity there for upgrading, and then it has the 1 terabyte SSD. It also has a 165 Hz QHD screen. So let's get into the benchmarking. I'm going to have some final thoughts at the end. And I will say this is probably the most powerful 14-inch gaming laptop out there right now. And so just keep that in mind. Spoiler alert. Let's get into this. Is the 720p camera and built-in microphone. Not bad for teleconferencing, Zoom calls. I wish they would come out with a 1080p version, but for what it is, it's okay. We're going to test speaker volume here with some no copyright music. %. 76% and 100%. That's not bad. In the Razer Synapse software, you can make changes to your laptop settings to boost performance of your laptop for better gameplay. For example, here under the Performance tab, you can change the settings of your fan to keep your laptop cool while playing those AAA games. You can also hit the Custom button here and manipulate the CPU and GPU by boosting it for higher frame rates. And then over in the screen refresh rate, you can change the laptop screen refresh rate from 60 Hz to 165 Hz. I will say, once again, this laptop lacks a mux switch. Something else you can do in the Razer Synapse software is change the backlighting of your keyboard, which is a per key backlighting to pretty much any color you want to, and you can also add an effect to your keyboard lighting as well. So we did some benchmarking using Cinebench, and we got some amazing scores, just fantastic for a 14-inch laptop in my opinion. CPU multi-core, we came out at a 12,685, and CPU single core was 1,474, and the laptop was on CPU and GPU boost, but just amazing. Our time spy scores were pretty decent. Our graphics score came out at 10,689, and our CPU score came out at 9,226. Our Firestrike's benchmarking score came out really well. Our graphics score came out at 25,070, physics score at 23,254, and then the combined score of 12,190. While performing the Firestrike benchmarks, we were also monitoring the temperature of the laptop, and as you can see here, during the demo, the temperatures of both the CPU and GPU started gradually climbing and leveled out towards the end. But once it hit the graphic test, the first one, the CPU popped up pretty high here, up to about 85 Celsius, then dropped down towards when we were doing the graphics test 2, and then really popped up here during the physics test, right around 90 Celsius for the CPU. So this is Cyberpunk 2077 on high settings. FPS right around 56 FPS, and CPU utilization 55%, and GPU utilization around 77 to 85%.
Come on, Pete! Keep her steady! Hold tight, Pete! Mierda! Perdón!
We're currently running the Shadow of the Tomb Raider in-game benchmarking tool. The settings are on high. The laptop GPU and CPU are in boost mode. You'll notice the FPS counter, in-game FPS on the upper left hand, and then the performance overlay from the NVIDIA GeForce, also FPS counter, are very much in sync with each other. The CPU utilization is at 68% and the GPU utilization is at 72%. While benchmarking Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we were also monitoring our fan noise, and much to our surprise, we only got up to about 47 to 49 decibels. So we're benchmarking Red Dead Redemption at this time, and the bottom of the screen gets really, really hot, right around 100.7 degrees Fahrenheit. The palm rests themselves get to be around 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. You can't see it in this particular video, but later on it does show up. We're running the benchmarking tool in F1 2020. The FPS counter is at the top of the screen, and then we have the NVIDIA performance overlay off to the right, upper right hand corner. The game is set on Ultra, and we have the boost levels on the CPU and GPU of the laptop. We did a quick test of the screen with our Spider X Pro, and we got 100% of sRGB, 100% of P3, and then 100% of Adobe RGB. We compared the benchmarking we performed on the Razer Blade 14 with other laptops we had reviewed over this year. And this is just ultra settings on Shadow of the Tomb Raider, F1 2020, and Red Dead Redemption. And for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Razer Blade got in at 98 FPS minimum, 133 FPS average, and max at 218 FPS. Then for F120, we had a minimum of 147 FPS, average was 175 FPS, and the max was 191 FPS. And then Red Dead Redemption, 80 FPS was the max, average was 53, and minimum was 32. The Razer Blade 14-inch gaming laptop. This is one of the most powerful 14-inch gaming laptops out there right now. And in true Razer fashion, the quality of build is truly on point, as per usual. There's a couple things I didn't like about it. The keyboard was a little sloshy in my opinion. The memory soldered to the motherboard, no opportunity for upgrading the memory. But other than that, it gets a little hot. It did get up to 100 degrees right around where the vapor chamber is through the keyboard. You saw it down below the lid. But other than that, this laptop is truly magnificent. I do want to tell you that there are a number of options. There's the RTX 3060 version and the 3070 version. If you really want to save $600, go for the 3070 version. I think that the performance is nominal, and I think you still get the same laptop. It's just with an RTX 3070, and so and you save $600. So I think you can't go wrong there. I think that the 3070 is probably the sweet spot. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more videos by Tech by Pike, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. It gives us an opportunity to bring videos like this to you, and it also gives us an opportunity to get better at what we're doing here. So we appreciate that. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you in the next one.